Three students are discussing whether they should take part in a field trip organized by the university.
Honestly, my part-time shifts conflict with the field trip, and it will cost me a lot of money. But even if I take the day off, the lost wages would set me back more than I can afford right now. So, I think I'll have to sit this one out. After all, the trip is just an optional one.
You are right, optional, but I will definitely go. The trip will be so great for all people. Business majors can visit a hotel by sea to see how it is run. Those who major in geography will be glad to see a beach, and I believe the beach cleanup activity will attract them. I am a history major, and the field trip includes a history museum, which ties perfectly into my research on maritime trade. So why miss out on a free trip with friends?
Let me think twice. A free trip with a lot of friends? I have to admit it will definitely a great chance to socialize. You know, I've been wanting to meet more people outside my major. Maybe I'll see if I can swap my work shift. My coworker owes me a favor, so fingers crossed.
I won't go either. Although I am from the business department, I see no point for business students to go so far just to visit a seashore hotel. Hotels are almost everywhere in the city, aren't they? A seashore one won't make any difference. Isn't it just a glorified ad for the resort sponsor?
All the same as hotels in the city? I'm afraid not. In fact, a hotel by sea involves very different management than the urban counterparts, and you can imagine guests on the beach will raise many different requests to the hotel. So you can learn a new style of hotel management.
You are so persuasive, and now I'd love to. But I will have a very, very important football match that weekend to take part in. I am one of the team starters, so my absence would drive the coach and my teammates mad. You don't know how long and how hard all of us have been preparing for the match.
I see your point. However, I really hope you can reconsider the field trip and join us. Besides, the hotel will help you a lot on your major. Don't forget the history museum I just mentioned. I hear the museum has a wonderful sports history section. Didn't you say your team's researching athlete nutrition trends? You could totally find relevant archives or old studies there, and that could even give your team an edge.
Well, the sports history section does sound interesting. Our coach has been pushing us to study past training methods lately. But the football tournament is a big deal for our team. We've been practicing for months. I'll think about it, but don't get your hopes up.
Okay, now you guys have got me tempted. Everyone keeps saying the beach cleanup activity is a good icebreaker among people from different departments. Plus, I've never been to that history museum, and it might be a nice change from my usual routine. But no promises.
In this discussion, three students share their views about the university field trip. Speaker 1 explains that their part-time shifts conflict and it would cost a lot of money with lost wages. At first, they consider skipping the optional trip, but later they see it as a free trip with friends and a great chance to socialize. They want to meet more people outside their major and might swap a work shift with a coworker to join. They are also interested in the History Museum. Speaker 2 says they will definitely go because the trip is great for all people. They highlight that business majors can learn from a hotel by sea. Geography students will join the beach cleanup activity. And as a history major, they are excited for the History Museum and research on maritime trade. They add that a hotel by sea needs different management, since beach guests have different requests. They also mention the sports history section with nutrition trends. Speaker 3 argues there is no point for business students because hotels are everywhere in the city. calling it a glorified ad for the resort sponsor. Still, they cannot go due to a very important football match. As a team starter, their coach and teammates would be mad if they miss it, after practicing for months. However, they admit the sports history section sounds interesting, with past training methods, but the football tournament is a big deal for them.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.
3 students are discussing the accommodation options next academic year.
Hey guys, I was wondering if you've made any decisions about where you're planning to live next academic year. I know the housing application deadlines are coming up soon, and I'm still trying to weigh my options between staying in university accommodation or finding a private flat. Honestly, I like living in the dormitory because I can learn cooking from other students, share food, and make friends.
I have to agree with staying in university housing, though for slightly different reasons. The convenience factor is unbeatable. My dorm is literally a 3-minute walk from all my lecture halls. When I have 9 a.m. classes, I can wake up at 8:45 and still make it on time.
Actually, I just signed a contract yesterday for a studio apartment in the city center, and I couldn't be more relieved. After a full year in the noisy dormitory, I'm really looking forward to having my own quiet space. What I hated most about dorm life was the constant disturbance. People coming and going at all hours, loud music in the evenings, and the worst part was definitely sharing kitchen facilities.
That's interesting because my experience has been completely the opposite. I've actually grown to love dormitory living, especially because of the shared kitchen. Cooking has always been my passion, and I found it such a wonderful way to connect with people from different cultures. Just last week, my French roommate taught me how to make authentic crepes, and in return, I showed her some traditional dishes from my country.
I'm quite particular about my food, and it drove me crazy when people would help themselves to things from my shelf in the fridge. This new place is slightly more expensive, but for me, having that privacy and peace is absolutely worth the extra cost. Also in the dormitory, I have little personal privacy, where I have to share the kitchen, and someone else steals my food, like drinking my milk, eating my food.
And it's not just about convenience for me. During exam periods last semester, we organized nightly study groups in the common room, where we could quiz each other and explain difficult concepts. That collaborative environment really helped boost my grades in ways I don't think would have happened if I was living alone off campus.
That's exactly why the shared kitchen feels so special to me. Those spontaneous cooking sessions often turn into great conversations, where we learn so much about each other's backgrounds. For me, that cultural exchange is one of the most valuable parts of university life that I'd miss in private accommodation.
Speaking of dorm downsides, noise is a huge one for me. It makes me hard to focus on study. So, I have rented an off-campus room and have signed the contract. But the place I've found is just a little far from the university.
You two have covered culture and quiet. Let me loop back to academics for a second. But more importantly, I've found the academic support system invaluable. The dorm has a study lounge on each floor, and there's always someone around to bounce ideas off.
In this discussion, 3 students shared their views on accommodation options. Speaker 1 likes dormitory living because of the shared kitchen, where students can learn cooking from others, share food, and make friends. For him, cultural exchange is valuable, as he learned French crepes and shared his own dishes. He enjoys spontaneous cooking sessions and great conversations with people from different cultures. Speaker 2 also supports university housing because of the convenience factor. His dorm is just a 3-minute walk from lecture halls, so he can wake up late and still attend classes. He also values the study groups, where students quiz each other, explain concepts, and boost grades. He finds the academic support system invaluable, with a study lounge on each floor. Speaker 3, however, prefers a studio apartment. He hated the noisy dorm life, constant disturbance, and sharing kitchen facilities. He is particular about food and values privacy and peace, even if it is slightly more expensive. He finally rented an off-campus room, though it is a little far from university.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.
3 students are discussing the pros and cons of online classes, sitting around a small table in the campus cafeteria, their voices mixing with the background chatter of other students.
I really can't stand online classes. The Wi-Fi would also cut out randomly during that economics lecture last week, making the slides freeze constantly. Last week, during my economics lecture, I kept getting distracted by my phone and ended up missing half the content. And when I tried to ask a question in the chat, the professor didn't see it until the next day.
Actually, I prefer online learning. Think about it. No more rushing to catch the 8 a.m. bus, no spending money on cafeteria food, and I can attend class in my pajamas. I just open my notebook and focus on taking notes. The lack of physical distractions in my own space helps me concentrate better, too. The recorded lectures are great, too. I can re-watch difficult parts anytime.
But that's exactly the problem. I chose this university for the campus experience. How am I supposed to make friends or network if we're all just little boxes on a screen? And when I type a question, by the time the professor responds, we've already moved on to another topic. It's like the conversation gets lost in the digital void.
Exactly. In physical classes, I can just raise my hand and get immediate answers. Plus, group discussions are so much more engaging in person. There's no substitute for the energy of debating ideas face to face, with everyone's gestures and tones adding to the discussion. Online breakout rooms always feel awkward and unproductive.
I get your point about socializing, but consider the flexibility. I can review lecture recordings while eating dinner, or study in my comfortable room instead of those hard library chairs. And I don't have to worry about looking presentable for class, which takes off a lot of social pressure. And honestly, I find I actually participate more online. I'm too shy to speak up in big lecture halls.
That might work for you, but I learn better through face-to-face interactions. Body language and classroom energy help me understand the material. Last semester, I failed a course because the online format just didn't work for my learning style.
Same here. At least in physical classes, the professor can see when students look confused. Online, they just keep lecturing to blank screens. Maybe a hybrid system would be better, some online, some in-person classes. It would balance the need for interaction and flexibility, don't you think?
That could be a good compromise. We'd get the benefits of both formats. Though I'd still prefer fully online, it saves me nearly 2 hours of commuting every day. Those 2 hours add up to extra sleep or more time for self-study, which is a huge plus for me.
Well, I'd take hybrid over fully online any day. At least that way I could still get some of the campus experience. But honestly, I think education should be primarily in person. That's what university is all about.
The discussion was about the pros and cons of online and in-person learning. Speaker 1 was against online classes because of Wi-Fi cuts, slides freezing, phone distraction, and late chat replies, which caused them to miss content. They preferred in-person classes, where students can raise hands, get immediate answers, take part in group discussions, and feel learning is more engaging. Speaker 2 supported online learning as it is flexible. They mentioned no 8 a.m. bus, saving money and 2 hours of commute, and being able to study in pajamas or a comfortable room. They said there is less pressure and even shy students can participate. They also liked recorded lectures and the chance to re-watch any time. Speaker 3 preferred in-person classes for the campus experience, making friends, networking, avoiding conversation lost online, and learning better with body language and classroom energy. They even said they failed a course online. Finally, all agreed a hybrid system would balance flexibility and interaction, give extra sleep, more self-study, and keep the campus experience alive. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.
3 students are discussing finding a job after graduation.
Hey guys, have you thought about what you want to do after graduation? I've been researching job opportunities, and I'm leaning toward joining a big company. The structured training programs they offer seem really valuable for professional development, not to mention the clear promotion paths. I think starting in a well-established organization could really set the foundation for a successful career.
That's interesting. I've actually been volunteering at a small charity organization, and I've really enjoyed the experience. For me, success isn't about climbing the corporate ladder or earning a high salary. I find the work meaningful, and the environment is so supportive. I might even consider staying in the non-profit sector after graduation.
Wow, you both already have such clear plans. I'm still figuring things out. To be honest, I'm thinking about staying here to pursue a postgraduate degree. I feel like I have time to explore my options, and further study might help me narrow down what I really want to do.
That's fair, but it's still good to start planning early. Maybe you could try out different jobs or internships while you're studying. That way, you can get a sense of what you enjoy or what you're good at before committing to a specific path.
I agree. Keeping an open mind and gaining diverse experiences can be really helpful. What you do now doesn't have to define your future career. It's more about exploring and learning about yourself. Plus, you might discover unexpected passions along the way.
You've both given me a lot to think about. I think I'll start doing some research tonight and maybe look into part-time work or internships. It's nice to know I don't have to figure this all out alone.
No problem at all. If you need help sifting through internship postings, just let me know. I've got a folder full of resources for different industries, tech, finance, even some creative fields. And hey, if you find something that sparks your interest, we can brainstorm how to tailor your application to stand out.
That's a great offer. I can chime in too. Nonprofits have unique application quirks, like emphasizing passion over past experience. I've learned a lot about writing cover letters that connect personal stories to an organization's mission. Plus, if you want to dip a toe into the nonprofit world, I can introduce you to the team at my charity. They're always looking for extra help on weekends.
You guys are the best. Having a starting point and people to bounce ideas off of makes this feel way less overwhelming. Let me start with that research tonight, and I'll loop you both in with what I find. Thanks for the advice.
In the discussion, students shared their views on career planning after graduation. The first student focused on joining a big company, as structured training programs, professional development, and clear promotion paths in a well-established organization could lead to a successful career. They also mentioned exploring different jobs and internships with resources available for industries like tech, finance, and creative fields. The second student highlighted volunteering in a charity organization, saying meaningful work, a supportive environment, and the nonprofit sector can provide personal satisfaction. They advised keeping an open mind, gaining diverse experiences, and discovering unexpected passions. They also noted that nonprofits have unique applications, where writing cover letters that connect personal stories to an organization's mission is important. The third student considered pursuing a postgraduate degree to explore options and gain clarity through further study. They plan to do research, look for part-time work, and internships. Overall, the discussion emphasized career planning, practical experiences, and support from peers.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.
3 students are discussing how to write essays.
Hi everybody. Our first essays in the university are going to be handed in next week. Are you ready?
Not yet, but I will write it at this weekend. I am very sure it will be no problem.
To be honest, this task really drives me mad. I feel like this essay is just way too hard. I have absolutely no idea how to even start. Not a single idea in my head. And I've been staring at this blank page all day. My hands are cold, my stomach's in knots, and my head feels like it's going to explode. I'm terrified I'm going to get a terrible score.
Don't worry about it. Just start by jotting down any ideas that pop into your head, no matter how random or messy they seem. You don't have to worry about organizing them perfectly. At first, you can always sort them out and make sense of everything afterward. The important thing is just to get your thoughts down on paper.
I have a more chill way of doing things. I usually go to a cafe to write, so I don't put too much pressure on myself. Laptops are often used there, but I just use paper and a pen to jot down some notes. Sitting in the cafe, sipping a drink, I feel completely relaxed, no deadlines in my head. Just letting ideas flow naturally.
Okay, fine. But now I've got a new problem. Even when I do have ideas, I have zero clue how to start the intro. Like seriously, introductions are my arch nemesis.
My advice is, you can just start by writing the main body of the article first. Once you get going, you'll naturally figure out what to keep and what to cut, and then you'll have a much clearer idea of what you want to say in the introduction. You'll notice it's actually the same approach you use when you're writing a summary.
Oh, so you can actually do it this way. I thought I had to start with the introduction and just write step by step. Your suggestion is really eye-opening. I'm feeling way less stressed now, and I'm actually starting to feel like I can handle writing this essay. It'd be awesome to get some more specific, detailed tips, though, like how to organize my ideas or structure my points that would really help me move forward.
How about this Thursday we have a little group session just for you? Bring along your plans and ideas, and we'll sit down together, look through everything, and help you polish and brainstorm. We'll throw ideas around, help you shape your points, and get you unstuck. Just remember, we're here to give you a boost and get you rolling, not to write the whole thing for you. You've got this.
Really? I hope it won't take up too much of your time. I'd really appreciate it. Once I finish this essay, I'll take you both out for a proper meal to say thanks. Something nice and relaxing, maybe even your favorite place.
3 students discussed their first essays in the university. The first student suggested jotting down ideas without worrying about organizing them perfectly at first. They believed getting thoughts on paper, joining a group session, and taking time to brainstorm and polish can help shape points more clearly. The second student preferred a relaxed approach, choosing to write at the weekend in a cafe using paper and pen. They said that sitting in a cafe, sipping a drink, helps ideas flow naturally. Their method was to write the main body first, then build a clearer introduction later, similar to writing a summary. The third student found the task very stressful with a blank page, cold hands, and knots in the stomach. They were terrified of a terrible score as introductions were their arch nemesis. However, after support, they felt less stressed, could handle writing the essay, organize ideas, and structure points. They appreciated the help and promised a proper meal to say thanks.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.